Erika Kirk is an evil woman. How's everybody doing today? It's Leo once again. Welcome to the Leo Show. We had an emergency stream last night because I had to cover this disgusting funeral that was played all over the internet, maybe even on TV on Sunday for Charlie Kirk. And my friends, I have no other conclusion but this, that Erika Kirk must be, just like, the ELO song, The Evil Woman. Dude, there's no other explanation. There's no other explanation for what was allowed to happen. And quite honestly, the fact that this even happened is leading me to a crisis of wondering how things can go on the way they are. Joseph Stalin, if you can hear me, please save us. Joseph Stalin, if you can hear me, please save us. Only Joseph Stalin can save the United States at this point. It's just not possible anymore. This is for Charlie, man. Charlie, I didn't like you in life, as I said previously, but I don't smoke much these days, dude, but I feel a lot of pain for Charlie after this funeral. I think it was very distasteful. I think a lot of people are coming around to this conclusion that it was a disgusting. They were rapping at his funeral, dude. They were rapping at it. They were doing it at a triple A football stadium type thing. It was a political event. They had voter registrations at his funeral. I mean, could you have dishonored this man any more than you did? I don't even understand how this is something that anyone can defend unless, as I said last night, you're an evangelical Christian. And at this point, I think that evangelical Christians are so removed from normal, and I use that denotationally in terms of normal, the norm, behavior, that it is very difficult to talk with them, but also empathize with them. This event was disgusting. Let's watch the stream so you can go in depth from yesterday. But let's just do a little recap. We had a rapper telling us that they're pushing the LGBT, but we're pushing the USA. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. I'll take the LGBT at this point, man. I'll take it. There is nothing. What is wrong with the LGBT? What is wrong with it? If the alternative is this, what is wrong with the LGBT? I truly did not appreciate wokeness in real time. I found it a little annoying. I found it suffocating. But the woke were a better steward for the United States and its mental health than whatever this is. Then we had Tucker Carlson go up there and recount the story of Christ, one of the most important political, religious, spiritual figures to ever live, in the voice of Mickey Mouse. So, this guy shows up and he tells the Romans the truth and they say, let's just kill him. What kind of sick guy recounts the story of Christ in this way? And then to follow it up with his cartoon Mickey Mouse, just disgusting, man. And then we had Donald Trump Jr. doing an impression of his father at this funeral, saying, and then Donald calls me, my dad, and he tells me that I need to cool it down on social media. I get the same. Dude, it's President Camacho, man. And Erika Kirk, I blame you specifically for this. You came out with your WWE pyrotechnics budget crap like a professional wrestler on stage here to make everyone, buy into Vince McMahon wouldn't do something like this. Buy into this idea that this is honoring Charlie Kirk. All you did was dishonor Charlie Kirk. And I didn't even like the guy. And you treated this man as a grift. Thucydides, if you've ever read Thucydides, he said that the greatest fears for a Greek soldier, there were two of them when he was coming home. The first was That not an affair, that she became pregnant from an affair. And the second is that when his corpse returned, she would use it as a circus, as a spectacle. And we can conclude that this was a spectacle. Now, I know your counter because I've heard it. I've heard it in the comments. I've gotten death threats in the comments because of my very rational critiques of this. Everyone grieves differently. Who are you to judge how people grieve? Who am I to judge how people grieve? Okay. Who am I to judge? Who am I to judge how people grieve? You know what? You should have told that to every judge in this country, to every defense attorney, and to every prosecutor. Because when Casey Anthony was on trial, when the Menendez brothers were on trial, their grief process was put on trial. So I think that as a society, or as just human beings, people have a certain idea of how people should grieve. And it is not a WWE tribute to their husband. Charlie Kirk's parents do not seem to be involved with this. I have seen them very, very quiet because I haven't seen them. Maybe they've said something and it's just not as big as Erika Kirk's thing. But I truly hope that they are at least the only people mourning Charlie Kirk properly, with dignity, quietly, with respect, because this is truly unbelievable to me now, man. It is unbelievable how anyone can defend this. You saw the audience at the Charlie Kirk. They sold tickets to this. Patrick Bet-David bragged about how he got good seating next to Elon Musk and how people who flew in from Canada couldn't get in. I mean, the fusion of bread and circus with the actual politics is truly astounding, and there's no way out. If you can't recognize, as a Charlie Kirk supporter, if you are a Charlie Kirk supporter and you can't recognize that this was gross, that this was wrong, that this was a spectacle, then there's nothing left to say. There's nothing left to say. How are you, and if you do this when someone dies in your family, if you invite Donald Trump and Elon Musk to get over their beef, where Elon Musk called Donald Trump a literal child lover, at a funeral where Russia Today is publishing videos of the funeral from a political lens and analysis, I don't know how to explain it to you. How do you explain to someone that this is wrong, that this is perverted, that this is perverse? And that's why only Stalin can save this, because someone needs to sit these people down and tell them, hey, what you're doing is wrong. What you're doing, Erika Kirk, what you're doing is wrong. Your poor husband hasn't even died. It hasn't even been a month. It hasn't been a month. It hasn't even been 2 weeks. It's barely been a week. And he didn't die. He had his jugular blown off. And you're forgiving the man who did it. And, that's the only good thing that came out of this, was that Donald Trump got up there and said, I don't wish good on my enemies. Now, I think that's a little harsh, right? Because if you're a postmodern Catholic like myself, if you're a Baudrillardian, you don't really view it in that way, right? I mean, you gotta love everybody. Everybody deserves love. But there is a certain amount of time in between forgiving someone. Between the action the transgression that someone did to you and forgiving them. And the fact that she got up there to applause, to a choreographed, watch it again, dude, this shit looks so planned out. She choreographed her crying, she choreographed around the music is what I'm saying. And then she got up there and said, that young man, I forgive him. And they all got up and clapped. I'm not saying that as a meme, they actually got up and clapped. There is no virtue in that. There hasn't even been a trial. There hasn't even been a demonstration of evidence that this Tyler Robinson character did it. And you're forgiving him? You could at least wait for the verdict to know that he did it, at least legally. But no, you're not going to do that. Okay, and maybe it's my problem. Maybe it's because I'm Catholic. And to me, forgiveness, I understand the virtue in it and the value in it, but not a week after. Because at that point, as I said last night, it's either you're insincere and you're doing this for clicks and for applause, which is bad enough, or you're sincere, which means that you have some sort of self-destructive empathy. And the evangelical movement really encourages this in the United States, man. I've said it before. I had to work in an evangelical church in high school. I did not like my time there. I found it creepy and borderline blasphemous, offensive. And not even blasphemy against the Christian religion, just blasphemy against natural human self-preservation and instinct. And this cannot go on. This cannot go on. Someone last night in the stream said, at this point, it's just evangelicals versus sane people. And I definitely see that. The MAGA movement is an evangelical movement. It's an evangelical movement. And it is bordering on a cult. It is a cult, man. And I get it. Everything's a cult, right? Apple's a cult. DJI, this camera's a cult. The King Leo channel, King Leo is a cult leader of some sorts. But this cult is getting... I would never ask someone to forgive someone that transgressed against their family a week after. I would not ask them to do that. I wouldn't, because it's wrong. It's perverse. It's not okay. And this is who rules the country now. And that old Voltaire quote, to look at who controls you, see who you cannot criticize. I have gotten death threats. I have gotten all sorts of threats because of my coverage of this Charlie Kirk thing. So does the Charlie Kirk spiritual movement, which at this point Charlie Kirk's whole life seems to have just been a marketing ploy, because that's how it's being treated in death. And he's not even really dead, as I keep saying, because every day AI videos come up. On Monday, they couldn't even wait a week. Michael Knowles is doing debates in his honor. Honor is silence. It is reflection. It is pain. But regardless, Charlie Kirk's movement, TPUSA, it's not his fault, man. But the effects of Tyler Robinson really should, if he did this, if they demonstrated in a court of law, he should get the maximum penalty, because the psychosis, the mass formation psychosis that he has released in this country, where you can't even be critical of Charlie Kirk in his life in a mild way without your show on Disney getting canceled or without you getting fired from a shitty Starbucks job is truly sick, man. So I can't criticize Charlie Kirk. No one can criticize him. No one. So I guess that means that Erika Kirk controls this country now. And MAGA controls this country. And that's it. And the woke had their issues, but it wasn't as sick as this. This is a level of sickness. Because the woke had their own suicidal empathy, right? But this is another kind of empathy, another kind of issue that is it is the mind virus, the woke mind virus Elon Musk and Gad Sad and all these other grifters described is here. And it's here from the Charlie Kirk side. And the fact you can't criticize someone rapping at a funeral, something I've never seen before, is truly odd. It's truly odd. I can't criticize that. I can't say that this is in poor taste, that this is wrong. No, I can't. I can't criticize Tucker Carlson doing impressions. I can't criticize Donald Trump doing a little dance with the grieving widow, this evil woman. The evil woman, like... Hey, I mean, you have to laugh, right? You have to laugh because it's absurd, because Baudrillard was right, and this is absurd. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to be mad about it? If you get fired from your job because of this is another thing. If you get fired because you criticized Charlie Kirk, even in a distasteful, ugly way, you shouldn't even be mad about that. You should laugh at it, because this proves that this system is completely fake, that the whole thing is fake. You shouldn't even work again. You should completely drop out of society. What is the point? If you can be fired for criticizing a political figure, why work? Why work? They can rug pull you at any time if you don't agree with the politically correct orthodoxy. Why work? Why buy in? And I think that is the silver lining in this evil woman's transgression against all of us. This encouraged mass formation psychosis. The silver lining is this. is that if you got fired or if you got negatively impacted because of your comments about Charlie Kirk or your lack of comments about Charlie Kirk, as much as they criticized the black square the woke forced people to put up on Instagram, which I didn't put up, okay, because I'm not an idiot, okay, I have my own identity. I'm one of the last of the Mohicans here. I'm one of the last. I'm a true Baudrillardian. Will the true Baudrillardians stand up? Okay, will the real Baudrillardians stand up? But the fact that your lack of sympathy, your lack of expressing sympathy, just expressive, a performative sympathy, got you fired from a job means that you should not work again, man. Because the whole thing is falling apart. Even the Mona Lisa is falling apart, right? Even the Mona Lisa is falling apart. And this is just what we have to deal with. How can they get you to buy into a system where you can get fired for criticizing someone? How can they? They can't. And that's the beauty, is that the state, the hyper-real here, is forcing things to their natural conclusion. Think of this engine like this. Choo, 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 choo. And it will only get more intense. And maybe in the future, something possible, something more human may come out. Maybe. I don't know if that's the case. I'm not sure. Possibly. But it's something to hope for. There is so much more to hope for than, if you're a liberal, then, I don't know, like Obama being president again. Or if you're conservative, I don't know, the border being closed or jobs coming back. There's so much more to hope for. You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bit bigger, darling, like Inception. There is so much coming because the states and the movements in charge are forcing things to their inevitable conclusions, where if you get fired because of what you believe or what you don't even express, you should not go back, man, because the system hates you. Find something else to do. Find something else to do, whether that means moving out of the country or finding another form of self-employment or starting a business or something. But find something else to do. Not everyone's lucky. Not everyone's lucky like me. Crypto millionaire genius King Leo here. Not everyone, all right? King Leo doesn't suffer these problems, all right? Because King Leo is, look, I'm doing this channel for the benefit of you, to help you out. Because when I realized that Baudrillard was right, that nothing is real, that it's all fake, that we live in the matrix, but you can't escape it, that you have to become Cypher. That's how I was able to get rich, right? I bought the fake money in the fake system to escape. And that's just me being lucky and somewhat smart. But everyone has this kind of opportunity, especially in the coming years, man. There's going to be so much you can do, whether it's in America or abroad. Think bigger, dream bigger, dream bigger. Because being under the yoke of this evil woman, Erika Kirk, which seems like what it is. I don't know if this is an election ploy to win the midterms or something, but you cannot tell me that a wife's natural reaction to her husband's jugular being blown off, to have rappers at his funeral, is normal and healthy. It's not. If it was, O.J. Simpson would have had a shorter trial. He would have got off within 2 days. If it was, the Menendez brothers might be free. If it was, Casey Anthony might have been free within 2 days. You do get to judge. You're allowed to judge. Don't let people tell you that you can't. You're allowed to judge. And this is truly Joseph Stalin. If you can hear me, please save us. They said it was the rapture today. They said we were going to get raptured. If all of these people got raptured, the people rapping at a funeral, the world would be a little less hell-like. But that's not the case, because anyone who's not stupid knows that this is fake. Hell, you live in hell, trademarked. That's my thing. If you say you live in hell, you have to send me $1 through the mail. I got it trademarked at the patent office. You live in hell. I just wish that hell would stay at 375 instead of being bumped up to 400. For the Europeans, I don't know how to do it in Celsius. And right now, they up the temperature in hell. But it's okay. We will overcome. Take it from me. Someday we'll all be free. All right? We'll be free from the evil woman and from this mass formation psychosis. Someday. Someday, man. Keep trying, keep getting in there. Don't be mad if you got fired, if you feel a little left out. If you're one of the people, even if you're sympathetic and you feel like, man, no one's really saying this, but this is a little bit tasteless. I don't like it. But no one's saying it. Chill out, dude. You're not the only one. I bet you that at least 30% of the people, even there, were disgusted by the whole thing. There's not strength in numbers. That's fake. But there's comfort in numbers, in knowing about numbers. And we'll make it, man. We'll all make it. I promise you, we will. We will. There's a way that we can do it. Not sure what it is, but I know definitely it involves Stalinism, because there's no other way of fixing this country, man. With that, everybody, for Charlie, this is King Leo. Thank you for watching the King Leo Show. I'll be on stream tonight for our regularly scheduled stream, where we're going to be covering all sorts of insane stuff that has happened since. And with that, everybody, like, comment, and subscribe, but do not share the channel. Rule number 1 of the King Leo channel, do not share the King Leo channel. Rule number 2 of the King Leo channel, do not share the King Leo channel. With that, everyone, like, comment, subscribe. I will see you tonight.